Hey everyone, how you doing? Just felt a bit of a tightness in my arms just now. But I hope you're all doing okay. Imran Web Squadron, it's Tuesday. I was editing some videos today. Um, Jeffrey from Lightbox, hopefully I'll try and arrange a live chat with him on Friday. It might be earlier in the day, just because of he's in Thailand, Bangkok. So I'm going to try and arrange a live chat with him, which I think will be really cool and interesting. And hopefully, for those that are watching, hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday evening, I'll be live with Paul Charlton, WP Tuts again. It'll be on the back of the video he released yesterday, which kind of is asking some serious questions about, like, is Elementor too big to fail? I think Elementor's got legs, and I think it will be here for a long, 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 long time. But the amount of people or experts using it might start to filter off, right? How are you, Mia? Are you in the garden again or in a park eating, relaxing? Or are you working hard, Mia? What are you up to? Hey, Carapos, how you doing? Hope you liked the video I put out, Carapos, about single post templates. Just a bit more detail, right? And yes, I know people are saying to me I need to do one using custom post types. Yes, I know that's all going to come and happen very soon too. What I like to do is like a phased approach. So you do your overall one, then you do one where you go into a bit more detail, then you go into even more detail. What I don't want to do is jump straight into like custom post types because some people that aren't familiar with it might get put off. So it's that easing in approach. Don't forget to click like, by the way, if you are watching, just because of the way things are. Hey, George. How you doing? How you feeling, by the way, George? Are you completely okay now? Or are you still COVID-y? What's happening? I mean, on the Elementor Facebook group, the number of people that are still having problems after updates it's like every 2 or 3 posts. Sometimes it feels like I keep seeing it over and over again. And although, hey Erling, although I'm not excusing Elementor for the updates, hey Rajat for that, and how 3.7 was a bit of a disaster, I do think that a lot of the issues that people are having with Elementor, however, are down to the fact that they're using a third-party theme. They've got loads of third-party Elementor add-ons. They didn't have a backup. They ain't got a staging site. They haven't even got a backup on their host provider. They've auto-enabled updates like all of them under the sun, so they don't actually monitor or do it in a clinical way. And, yeah, basically, things will break, won't they? Things will break. Yeah, slight cough, George. I think that's... Hopefully you're on the mend. Chilling inside the caravan. Yeah, it is. Today it's forecast we're going to get rain later, and the weather is not as hot as it has been. Hey, Zeno. So it feels a little bit more cooler, which this is how I like it to be. Not too hot, bit of a tiny breeze. It's just nice. Don't forget to click like if you haven't already, by the way. There's a couple of things I was meant to do yesterday which I have not done, so I've got to make sure I either do them while we're chatting or I do them, what's the word? Either do them while we're chatting or I do them straight afterwards. And it was basically connecting MailerLite to Stripe. So what's your problem with Crocoblock, Carapos? There are 2 things I do want to talk about, though, in today's live chat. One of them is about, am I ever going to move from Elementor to Bricks? And the second thing is about a question that was asked on the Web Squadron Facebook group, which I thought was quite an interesting question. and I answered it with my take on it. I'd love to know what other people think as well. I'm just going to check if there's been any comments to that one. Don't forget, though, if you're not part of the Facebook group, you do need to join if you want to continue some of the conversations. Just reading what someone's written here to me because it doesn't totally make sense. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I know, George. I mean, George. To be honest, yeah. Even if I'm on holiday or like in the mornings. By the way, did you know that in the mornings, whenever I wake up and I've got ready and sorted my son out, I like to go for a half an hour, 45-minute walk before I get to my desk. Maybe it's to get more Pepsi Maxes. Maybe it's just to pick something up. Maybe it's just to do a walk. And when I do that walk, I like to have my radio on as I'm walking, and it's my moments of reflection before I hit the desk. And also, it means as I'm walking, right, let me tell you how I do things. I wake up, I sit in bed while I wake up. I'm like that as I wake up, like, half asleep. And I'm checking all my messages, replying to DMs, private messages, comments, do all that. Half an hour later, after I've got up and showered and all of that and got ready, and I go out for a walk, my inbox is filled up again with stuff. So I've got to go back through all the inbox, the messages, the comments and all of that. And it then means that when I get to my desk, by the time I step through the door and I'm back at my desk, there might be a few more notifications or messages, but I'm clear, I know what I'm doing, and I crack on and get on with it. So even if I'm just walking around, I can't help but like look at my phone, check what's going on, updates, keep things moving in effect. So someone made a comment about how on the Web Squadron Facebook group about how they wanted to lock down what the client could do. So if they've agreed with the client that they're going to create like a 5-page, 10-page website, and the client wants to add in an extra page or a post, they're not going to let the client do that. Now, the simplest way to do that is user roles, right? Admin, editor, author, contributor, subscriber, and you could add in some more as well. Don't forget to click like, by the way. And I don't think you should be adding in any funky code snippets or anything like that, because you could add some further problems onto your website, I think. Keep it simple. So if you're saying, hey Eddie, if you're saying to your client they can't add a page or add a post, quite frankly, I would say, well, in that case, your client is just a subscriber, maybe. Right? Or I can't remember now. Can a contributor add a post? No, they can't, can they? Contributors can't add a post, I think. Authors can. Oh, I can't remember. But I just felt like I found it a bit of a weird business model, to be honest. You know, if you've got a client and you're going to manage the website, so you give them a care package, you manage it, why would the client have access to the website then? But if you give the client access to a website, why would you not let them add a post? Are you going to always keep adding the post? I just found it a bit weird. I mean, I would have said, define their user role. Admin, editor, author, contributor, subscriber, or maybe something else that you go in and add in. Hey, Eddie, don't worry about participating, okay? We all have other things on. We have lives, we have work, we have agendas. No, we don't have agendas, but we have things that we have to do. Now, I want to get on to a bit of a serious conversation here, because some people have commented or noticed that I have done a few more videos regarding the bricks builder. And I am still an Elementorist. I will still be doing Elementor videos. I am still using Elementor. But there is something about bricks as well, and I'm going to try a bit of an experiment over the next 2 or 3 days where I take our Web Squadron website, How many plugins have I got on there? Hello theme, optimization, blah de blah de blah. What if I made a complete copy? Now, we've got lots of stuff going on in the back end there. Templates and stuff as well. Can I make a full-on copy? Accepting that bricks will be a little bit different to Elementor, so some of the widgets and some of the look of it, I might have to mess around a bit. But can I move to that? And what does it mean in terms of plugins on the website? What does it mean in terms of page speed score? What does it mean in terms of how did I find it? Was it quicker, slower? Did I hit a showstopper moment? Did I suddenly go, this was a big mistake? Because the Web Squadron website has it's got Woocommerce products on it. It's got restrict access to certain pages unless you buy a product. We've even got a membership on there, which was for something separate that we don't release anymore, but we do have past members that still use it. So when you start to think about all of that, is Bricks going to handle that? Technically, it should. Technically, it should, because I've risk assessed it. It should. However, what happens when you do that? Yeah, George, exactly. That's right, Advanced Access Manager. That's the other one. Yes, George. So I'm glad you've seen the post then. Obviously, you're replying to that post. And I found that really dodgy. I found it a bit like, but if I'm a client and I say to you, build me a 5-page website with a blog, right? The single post template is built. The post archive is built. Therefore, if I decide every day I'm going to do a new blog post, every day I'm going to do a blog post. Today I'm going to do one about Mia, tomorrow about Eddie, then George, John, all of these people. I'm going to do all of these things, right? By the way, hey John, Erling, Rajat, Karapos, all these people, right? Okay, Zeno, I'm going to do a blog post every day about every one of these. If the post archive page is built, if the single post template is built, why would this person now want to say, right, the client ain't allowed to do any posts? What the F? What? Makes no sense. Hey, Dave Den. It doesn't make sense. And I'm going to probe a bit more on that in the Web Squadron Facebook group. Hey, Kester. Well, the thing is, George, they're also talking about post as well. If you look at their question, they mention post as well. And I was like, but yeah, I think it is posts, George. I think it is. I think they mention later on it's for posts as well. Let me just double check. So we're just talking about a comment. We're just talking about a comment in the Web Squadron page. So it was where someone says, oh, sorry, George, you're right. It's pages. My mistake. It is pages. You're right, George. You're right. I mean, hey, Peepo. So my solution was basically you build it, you've agreed a price, and you then say, if you're going to let the client have admin access, you make clear to the client, if you want a new page, you come to me. There will be a cost, but I will build it properly. Optimized, mobile, safe, and secure. Keep it safe, keep it secure. Right? That I then say to the client, if you make it and you need me to refine it, there will be a cost. If you make it and you break the website because you go and add in an extra plugin, right? I had a client once, they had a care package, and they went and added in like 3 extra plugins for no good reason, and it broke the website, and they were like, oh, fix it. It's part of my care package. I went, no, it's not. You went and asked. Yeah, Peepo, ask you a question. You've gone and asked. No, you've gone and added 3 extra plugins without checking with us, and now it's broke your website. One of the plugins they added hadn't been updated in 2 years. It was ancient. It only had it had hardly any reviews. No one used it. And I was like, you went and added in a really old plugin and it broke your website. So you now want us to fix it. Okay, we have to use a backup, which meant they were going to lose loads of their Woocommerce orders. And I was like, really sorry, but you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, sorry, yeah, and again, yeah, Dave, George, thanks for correcting me. You're both right. It was for pages, not posts. My mistake. So, Peepo, where's your question? Peepo, we haven't seen your question yet. Eddie. Yes, you can with the theme builder single post template, unless you're asking something different, Eddie. But with the theme builder, yes, you can do a single post template, unless I'm thinking about it wrong. Yeah, exactly, Kester, and that's what a lot of people do. So they create like a front-end page with their field. You upload your content, images, stuff like that, and it then fits into the page dynamically. Okay, here's a question I love. And that's why, Carapos, I think if you see my reply to that, Pancho Ortigo on the Web Squadron page, what I said was, if you let me build it, here's the cost. If I have to fix what you've done, the cost goes up. If I have to fix your site because there's major problems, the cost goes up even more. And the cost will not be a simple cost. It will be defined by how much work is required. Yes, absolutely, Eddie. With Elementor, the template, the single post template, yeah, that's what you would do. That's what you would do. Yeah, hey, Andrew, hope you're okay. Right, so going back to Peepo, I love this question. How do I get a lot of subscribers? Well, you can't. That's not how it works. Hey, Peter. So, Peepo, let me give you a lesson now, okay? We started off with 0 subscribers in June 2021. Exactly, Brian. Exactly. You know, client breaks the website and we told them use us and they break the website. The cost could literally be an entire site build. And you give them the option, look, you either fold the website because you broke it, or you get us to fix it, or you get someone else on Fiverr to fix it, and they'll probably put NitroPack on it. Ludicrous NitroPack. You know, they'll probably put some shit like that. Peepo, we don't make Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa. How do you make that? Well, I'll tell you. Okay, Peepo, this is how you do it. You do some crowdfunding. You make sure you've got about £300,000. You then go and hire 10 high intellectual and capable developers, and you go away and create your tool. That's how you do it. Because you're not going to be able to do it with just a little app. Hey, Pixstar. So back to the question about subscribers. We started off with 0, and we were popping out videos. And you might get 1 or 2, 1 a day, maybe 0 a day. And it was like, that. And the more you do, the more audience you build, the more consistent you are, the more confident you get. And do any of you remember how rubbish my microphone quality was like a year ago? Don't say it's rubbish now, okay? Because I like to think it's better. But do you recall the lighting? If you go and watch my videos from June or July last year, the lighting is bad. In a lot of the videos, my face is very orange. The lighting was really bad. The sound was, I was using my MacBook Air microphone, which so you got a real echo in the room as well, and it wasn't great picking up the sounds and beats and boop, 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 and all everything. And it just was not good. It really wasn't. And so over time, I started investing more. So I was doing more videos. I was trying to be consistent in my approach as well and what I covered. I also invested better microphones until I got the dynamic one from Fifine. I went through 3 different webcams until I settled on using my iPhone, which is now my 4th webcam in a way. Layouts, setups, lighting, all of that. So you got to think about, you got to start thinking about how you do things. But most of all, you got to keep putting out content. All right, and if you'll just put, I mean, Peepo, how many videos are you doing? How many videos do you put out at the moment? How many videos? In fact, tell us, Peepo, how many videos do you put out? How often do you do a video on YouTube? What is your videos about? I don't even know who you are, to be honest. What's your videos about? So, how often? And what are your videos about? I mean, Peepo GM, Grandmaster what? Yeah, with breakdowns, I'm just waiting for the final version to be out. Just reading the comments, sorry, because I'm just like... Right, so Eddie, my YouTube channel started in 2011. Or was it 2010? Was it 2010 or 2011? Let me tell you when it started off. 2010, December 2010. However, the videos in 2010, I used to do the odd video now and again about writing. You know, writing books and stuff like that. Hold on. I'll hold on a second. I'll show you what I mean. So I've got 5 books released. I've got other books I've written. Hey, Indapri, I've got other books I've written, but I've just not released them. So my very first book, Disconnect by Imran Siddiq. It's 272 pages, right? And I used to do videos about, you know, writing books, prose, you know, plot structure. This book is a lot bigger. Tyler Knitbone, parallel universes, crossing into them and mucking them up, right? Tyler Knitbone. Do you like that cover? Look at that cover. Pretty funky, yeah? Pretty funky. And then I wrote a book called The Simple Creative Writing Book. Okay, and it was basically about, you know, how do you write? How do you write a book? How do you know, what do you do when you're thinking about the title, the building of the world? Trying to find a topic, point of view. Hey, Maddie, plot structure, right? Like that, you know, stuff like that. So, quite a lot of stuff. And I used to talk about this stuff. Now, I stopped doing that about 5 years ago. So the channel kind of... The most it ever had was 50 subscribers. It didn't have a lot of subscribers. So even though I had the channel since 2010, hey David Lab, by the way, sorry Brian, everyone else. Yes, do you like it, Brian? Do you like it? I mean, it's even better when I have the lights on, obviously. You know, well, the other lights. So even though the channel's been up since 2010, it wasn't until June 2021 we started doing the web videos. So my subscribe rate then was literally 0. It was 0. And then slowly and surely, okay? But it's about your content. It's about being honest and trustworthy as well. And I'm going to say that if you're trying to grow your Facebook list or your Twitter following or your Instagram or your LinkedIn or whatever, if you're trying to get more engagement where people want to follow you and all of that, then it's about the content you put out. If you only put out a Twitter post once a week, you might get someone following you, and then again, you might not. Very true. Sorry, Brian. Because I'm talking, I'm late to responding to messages. But you're right. The sound really bothered me. I had everyone talks about a condenser microphone, right? Condenser microphones are the worst thing since dried shit. I'm telling you now. If you did this with a condenser mic, like I'm clicking my fingers, right? Can you hear that on the microphone? Can you pick that up? On a condenser microphone, you would hear that. You would hear it like a proper click. Over here, who can hear the clicks? Look, can you even hear them when I do that? Right? The dynamic microphone, much, much better. Much better. Exactly, Eddie. Do you know what, Eddie? It takes so much patience. And, it took about 1 month to get 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And then we lost a bit, we gained it. There was a bit of this going on, and it just happens. Oh yeah, sorry, Peter. You're right. I should correct myself. Condenser microphones are not good for web videos. You're right. Condenser microphones are good. You are right, Peter. I should correct myself. Hey, Dorji, how you doing? Now, Peepo, you haven't answered my question. How many videos do you put out, and what are your videos about? Dorji, are you a web designer, freelancer, web agency? What's your favorite page builder? What kind of websites do you like building? So back to the question I was mentioning earlier, I am going to try and transfer my main websquadron.co.uk website over to Bricks Builder. Because at the moment, I'm having a bit of a serious debate. I have 1,000 licenses. I think it will be BST 8 p.m. tomorrow, Pickstar. British summertime, BST 8 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday evening. I have Elementor licenses, right? And for those clients that have a care package with us, whatever, it's on their website as well. There will also, let me cut to the chase. What if our okay, let me make sense here. We are up for renewal in October this year, which is 2 months away. In 2 months' time, in fact, in 2 months and 5 days. So about 65 days, let's just say, right? In about 65 days, we have to renew our Elementor license. Do I renew? Now, most likely we're going to have to, because we have clients on care packages who pay for their care packages, or they've paid annually, so we have to do it. Do we, however, have to start considering that maybe next year we don't? Maybe I have to move my clients off it. Now, that is a very serious question to consider, especially when we've built up so much using Elementor. Because, hey, Mark, so it's a question I'm having with myself about, how long do you continue using Elementor? Do you move over to another builder if you can see it's got legs? Because the more I've played with bricks, the Woocommerce product filters, the post filters, well, guess what? That's 2 plugins ditched. Kaboom, gone. Because it's built within the Bricks Builder theme. And you have to start taking that quite seriously when you consider that we don't get that. It's not going to be... Eventually, eventually, hey, take care, Peter. Eventually, right, I can see Bricks Builder coming out with conditional calculated logic on their forms. We don't get that on Elementor. And when you start to have things like that happening, you got to start thinking about, well, what are we using now? Do you get what I mean? Exactly, Pixar. And here's the problem. When you have a lot of clients that are using a certain page builder or a theme, hey Gary, Visual Media, hope you're okay. They're not going to pay just because you've decided to use a different solution. They're not going to pay for that. They're going to go, well, why do we have to pay for that? Why do we have to pay for 3 or 4 days effort to move our website over? So, difficult questions. Yeah, go on, George. By the way, I'm just going to check what Brian's written. Yeah, Brian, I'm just looking at what you've written there. George, so I don't have a video call or chat, but I'm going to try and arrange one with Thomas. I'm going to try and arrange a video call. I'm going to try and see if he's up for a live chat with me and him. Just so we can have a talk. Just have a talk about things, future plans. But that's only if he's up for it. I'm going to offer an invitation, and I hope he takes me up in it. Well, George, I think that's the question I want to really get to, really, is I hope they do. I hope they kind of think a bit out the box and go, you know what? Because you know something, George? You know how they've got the Woocommerce product filter? That now means I don't need to use Themify. Gone. Post filters. There is a way you can do it in Elementor, but there's also post filter add-ons. Gone. So I'm gonna. I'm optimistic, George. I'm optimistic because I think that. Hey Groot, how you doing? Or VJ even. Hope you're okay. And this is where. And so the point that Eddie and Brian make is very true as well. And this is where I feel like I'm at the minute going to be probably someone who sits in a best of both worlds scenario. So I will continue supporting... Well, Caraposh, you know the filter for blog posts? You know when you add the post widget to... you know in Elementor, you don't get a filter, do you? You don't get a... sorry, let me get this right. You don't get a nice fancy filter, do you? You have category filter, but has anyone seen the category filter? It's really ugly, and you got to start using lots of CSS to muck it up and all of that, right? So you got to do a lot more work on it. Whereas there is another fancier Ajax filtering. It's Ajax filtering is what I'm talking about. Yeah, very good point, George. And that's another question I got about. Can we deactivate certain things from loading? Even though the page speed is really, really quick, you don't want to slow it down. So going back to what Eddie said and Brian, I will still be promoting Elementor. I'm still going to be like talking about all the good shit with Elementor. When they have a good update, when they eventually have Mega Menu, when they eventually have the final Flexbox container, when they eventually... The word eventually is a very strong word here, right? However, bricks as well, I feel like I've got to keep on board with that. Mainly because what if in 5 years' time Elementor goes, you know what? We're done. We made our money. We're going. I don't think they will. I think they're here for a long, long, long time. But what if they did? And you never bothered to learn another page builder panic's going to kick in, right? Panic is going to kick in. So I think it's not a bad idea to just keep on board. And it's a bit like, in 5 years' time, what if Gutenberg really takes off? I don't think it will. I think Gutenberg is like going to die. Not die, but like, you know. So I think like, I know my comfort zone is Elementor. Every day of the week, night or day, boom, I get on with it. Bricks, got to think a little bit more, but I need to stay on board with what are they doing, right? Gutenberg, let's see where they are in 5 years' time. Haha, Matty Ajax. Well, Brian, I am planning I'm going to try and do a video where I, you know, the websquadron.co.uk website. Can I move that over to Bricks? So let me explain it again. If you take the Bricks website, no, if you take the Elementor website, right, the theme will be hello. How many plugins do I have to get that website to do exactly what I want for what it does? Then, can I do a Bricks website which has roughly the same features and whatever, but how many plugins am I now using here? And do I get anything extra here that I didn't have here? Do you know what I mean? So I want to try and make that kind of comparison. But I can tell you now that unless I find out that Elementor is dying, which I don't think it is. Okay, listen to me. I don't think it is. Then why would I not continue doing Elementor videos? And that's what I'll still be doing. And I got loads of Elementor videos coming out. Yeah, very good point, David, about the bloat and all that. I mean, I think for me, it's more about what Elementor need to convince me of is that if you are not using accordions on your page anywhere, I need to be sure that there's no accordion being... yes, Anne. Yes. So go in... if you go to Amazon... Whoop. I mean, you know my name anyway. I don't even know why I'm telling you that, but you need to search for Imran Siddiq on Amazon, all right? And I got this one as well, the Simple Creative Writing Book. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, sure, George. I mean, I'm sure, George, that when I do that, it's going to break and go... Because what I'm going to do is, at the minute, I'll make a copy. It's got hello, Elementor, and stuff like that. If I take out hello and add in bricks, so you got bricks and Elementor, things are going to go a little bit, but then you're going to have to slowly start removing Elementor templates, like the header. Get rid of that, or stop it, the display condition, and then rebuild it in bricks and activate that. The footer, the shop page, the single product page, and basically the pages, right? You know, the pages. So it's a case of like, cheers, Anne. And great to have you here as well. So it's a lot of, it's going to be one of those kind of like experimental videos. Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, where is Elementor going with like complete cloud solutions like VJ says? I think a lot of people were just looking for a bit more clarity over the future roadmap. Yeah, I agree, Pickstar and David as well. I mean, I think that like something that says you don't have to load XYZ would be a great thing, because a lot of the third-party plugins do that, don't they? So many third-party plugins allow you to stop something loading fully. And I always go, well, if they can do it, why can't Elementor do that? Or why even Bricks? Why have Bricks not done it? I think it's a question that we would need to ask. Wow, so Catalyst went from Genesis to Beaver Builder to Elementor. Yeah, I mean, I'd love it. I'd love it if you could just go, no, you know what? I don't care what Bricks are doing. I don't care about Breakdance. I don't care about Gutenberg. I know that if I stick with Elementor, it's going to get better and better and better. I think 2022 has just been a funny year, I think, in terms of a lot of promises, a huge amount of noise about the Flexbox container, and we're just not there yet. We're not even on the beta yet. The recent issues over 3.7, I think, have muddied the waters a bit, and I just feel like, come on, Elementor, I love you guys. I love using the page builder, I promote it so damn much, right? Not just with videos, but everywhere I go, hey, Elementor. But please reward us now for the faith, right? Please reward us for following you. We worshiping you and all that. Please reward us with some prizes, okay? Please do that. Because a year ago, literally, if you go back a year ago, how much noise was there about Elementor? Not that much. There was noise, but not that much. Now, every day I keep hearing noise, and I keep thinking, don't ignore it. Do something about it, okay? And I have noticed a lot of Elementor people, including moderators, are part of the Breakdance and the Bricks groups. Now, why is that? Is that because they're just interested? Or is that because they're scoping out? Is it because they want to see if anyone badmouths Elementor? I've had messages where some people have said, whoa, Imran just did a video on Bricks. Whoa. And I'm like, yeah, I'm playing around and all of that. Oh, Eddie, just hit like again. It undoes the dislike. Don't worry, Eddie, all right? Just hit the like. It's fine. But it's because I've realised now that for a very long time, I was sticking to just Elementor. I decided, no, I'm going to stick to just Elementor. But now I've realised that with what's been happening this year, with so much focus on the cloud, with focus on the static headless solution, where are we going to go with third-party plugins? Is it still going to be a free-for-all where you can use what you want? Will it be a closed system like what Wix do with their marketplace? I've got to have a backup option, right? And I would, no props, Geddy. And I would say that if you decide, well, I'm good with Elementor, but I'm going to keep an eye on Gutenberg, go for it. George is a Divi power user, but he's got Elementor in his back pocket, and I think he's got Bricks in his back pocket as well. So he's got 3 solutions. And I've now realised that just staying on one, it's not dangerous, but right now, if someone came to me and said, I want a Woocommerce website, I don't think I'll use Elementor for a Woocommerce website now. That says a lot. Do you know why? Because Bricks gives me the Woocommerce filtering system. Have you seen the product filters that you get with Bricks now? It is flipping amazing. And I might be sounding more excited and over-exaggerating how amazing it is, but it is good. Before, I would have Woocommerce, Themify. If I didn't have Themify, I'd be using Shop Engine. Oh, hold on a second. I don't use Shop Engine now anymore, but I don't need the Themify plugin. Gone. because everything I could have done in the Themify with custom fields or attributes or colors or price range and all of that, I can now do in Bricks. So why would I build a WooCommerce website somewhere else where I'm using WooCommerce, a third-party plugin to get the filtering? Because what if WordPress? Look, think about it. WordPress updates, Elementor updates, Elementor Pro updates, WooCommerce updates, Themify updates. Ooh, hold on, that's 5 variables. Whereas now, WooCommerce and Bricks. Of course, you'll have payment gateways and shit like that, but simplify it. Can you see what I'm saying here when you look at the equation? Hello, Elementor, Elementor Pro, WooCommerce, Themify. Both. PayPal payments, I would need on both. I'm talking about the fact you could go from 5 to 2. So for a WooCommerce website, the risk of incompatibility and conflict suddenly went like from that to that. Oh, by the way, they'd both be WordPress as well, so you got to watch out for WordPress updates. But that's my thinking, because I still think, right, that it's all good. By the way, I've got to read all your comments, all right? I've got to read all your comments. Sorry if I've been a bit slow, all right? I will come back to all the comments. I'm just going to finish this point and then come back to it. Last year, we had the cart and the checkouts pop up in Elementor. Brilliant. Brilliant. We had the My Account. Brilliant. But where was the WooCommerce filters? It's all good and well giving me cart and checkout and all of that, right? Because to be honest, I wasn't that bothered by the standard cart and checkout you get with WooCommerce. You can still do stuff to change the colors and the button colors. You can do that. The typography, you can do that all day long. But where was the filters? Because the filters you get out the box of WooCommerce are rubbish. Rubbish. Right? Right, let me just check the comments because I've ignored a lot of them, okay? I didn't mean to ignore. Sorry. Yeah, what Catalyst says, that I agree. It's a business problem. I don't think they're thinking it through right. I think all of a sudden I worry that profit is now becoming more important. Very good point, though, Brian, about the innovation. You are right. You add too much, you can actually bloat and break things as well. So, Dorji, you've said, can you explain, though, Dorji? You've said, give me some idea. What do you want an idea on, Dorji? So, Dorji, you've said, give me an idea. What do you want an idea for? So, you've got 31 videos, but what do you want an idea on? How to get subscribers? So, my question to you then, Dorji, is what is your channel about? If you're asking me to give you an idea about videos and getting more subscribers on YouTube, what are your videos about? Yeah, very true, George. Scoping, announcing new ideas. To be honest, Carapos, I'm only making videos about bricks to make you happy because, you know, you've been harassing my comments with, like, brick stuff. And I thought, I better make a video. Yeah, and see, this is a point I want to make as well. Pickstars hit the nail on the head. Bricks are doing regular updates. Big updates. Lots of changes updates. Things that people want. They have a roadmap. Me and Paul were we were a bit harsh. I gotta be honest. We were a bit harsh, but we were being really honest. Hey, Soren. In fact, welcome back, Peepo. Where is the roadmap? So even if you say you're going to do calculated logic on the forms, tell us you're going to do it, and when you think you might do it, you're allowed to slip. Everyone is allowed to slip. We all slip. But at least tell us it's happening. 1 year, 2 year? What's the plan? Just give us an idea. Yeah, true, George. I mean, obviously, when I did the video on Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember what day it was now. The page to be score went down because of Woocommerce, but that's because I didn't use asset cleanup. And if I had added that in, it would have pulled it back up again. So, Peepo, a question I had for you before you disappeared was, how many videos do you do? How often do you release a video? Not how many you do. How often do you release a video? And what are your videos about? You're asking me about subscribers. How often do you release a video and what are your videos about? Question for Dorji Vlogs as well. I think you've disappeared. What are your videos about? Right? What are your videos about? And how often do you release? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Brian, I really hate the WooCommerce model with the you know how you got to buy all those add-ons. I really wish that WooCommerce, I know WooCommerce won't because they'll lose money and blah blah blah, but I really wish WooCommerce would just say, right, here's WooCommerce. Now, if you want all of the add-ons, and you will get access to new add-ons as well, you pay $200 per year. And I would pass that on to the client. I'd say to the client, right, you want membership, you want subscription, you want blah, 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 minimum, maximum quantity, you want all of this stuff. You got to pay £200 now to have access to the latest. Some clients don't want to pay because they get a bit funny. And what you got to explain to them is, look, I think you're missing the point. That $200 a year means you're getting access to products built by hardcore developers. They are updating, they are improving, they're making it better, new features. You're not paying $100,000 a year for a couple of developers. No, you're paying $200, not $100,000, $200. And I get them to understand that. So when WordPress updates, when the world updates, technology, vulnerability and shit like that, right? Clients kind of go, oh yeah, we want to keep things up to date. We want to, we want fancy stuff. Right. You can either pay $100,000 a year for 2 developers to sit there, doing their stuff, their Bill and Ted, doing whatever they're doing, funky clicking on the keyboard, or you pay $200 a year. And I really wish WooCommerce would do that. Like WooCommerce Pro. Who here would buy that? Who here would go for WooCommerce Pro if they ever did that? All right, take care, Gary. Just seen you got to bounce. You take it easy, my friend. I mean, I agree, Eddie, that Elementor have improved WooCommerce. I just think that filters, I just feel like the filters, they missed a trick with that. Oh, by the way, and I was joking, okay, when I said just spying, I was joking by that. But I think it says, I think it just go to show that like, it's okay to be passionate about Elementor. Oops, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. It's okay to be passionate about Elementor, but also to have interest or work with or develop other solutions, other page builders, other themes and stuff like that. Yeah, and the thing is, Eddie, and I think that's why you see, and I think that is why there are so many third-party plugins with WooCommerce, and some are good, some are bad, some break, some conflict, incompatibility. Some of them never get updated, and you sort of go, ooh, where are we going with this? And that is why I would love it if WooCommerce said, right, this is what you get with WooCommerce, what you already get, but you now pay $200 a year and you get the pro version. And I tell you now, every WooCommerce website I've ever built, I would be telling my clients, you got to go for that. You got to go for that, because it means that you know now that when you use the like minimum maximum plugin or a subscription plugin or just one of these fancy things that WooCommerce have, right? You know it's going to work with WooCommerce. You know it will integrate properly. Risk, fear, stressing out would kind of go, meow. Do you know what I mean? It would sink. Can you now imagine, right? Like at the minute when you go to like the WooCommerce community, they talk about some plugins and stuff that you're not using because you're not buying it. You're going to go and get a third-party solution. So, hey, Richard, by the way, hope you're okay, mate. It's just something I wish that they would consider. But I know they won't, because it's like loss of income for them, right? It's like loss of income. Hey, Alexandros, I'm one of the few... Hey, Jake, I'm one of the few people that doesn't use Crocoblock. But I know it's good. I know Crocoblock is really, really good. Please don't forget to click like, by the way, if you're watching the live chat. It means a lot in terms of YouTube. And don't forget websquadron.co.uk for our mastery modules as well. No probs, Anne. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, it's like, to be honest, though, a lot of people have like literally messaged me privately and they've said, what are you doing over here in Bricks? Or some have even said like, are you leaving Elementor? And it's like, no, I'm not leaving Elementor. It's just like, I'm playing around. I'm getting more used to it. And I literally have come to the conclusion that if I had to do a Woo, hey Taylor, I'm okay, how are you? I've come to the conclusion that if I was going to build a WooCommerce website right now, I would use Bricks. If I was doing a basic website, I would weigh it up, probably Elementor. And that sounds weird in a way, doesn't it? Like, I'm so used to doing Elementor stuff and all that, but I'm starting to find that, well, the fact that I can ditch one or two plugins I would use on Elementor for WooCommerce, because I can now have it here, it changes things massively. It really does. I mean, you have to use Elementor or Woolentor to rearrange the... You know when you have the products archive? You got title, meta, excerpt, price. You can hide them. Of course you can. But what if you want to rearrange them? What if you want the price above the title? Why would you do that? But what if you wanted the price above the title? You got to put in some CSS. Clickety, clickety, click. You got to do all of that. But on the Bricks, I can rearrange. I can do that. So... It almost, I don't want to say makes it easier, but it's weird because a lot of people say to use Bricks, you need to be very good with your HTML and your CSS. I actually think that you can get away with not having to be really good with CSS and HTML. I actually think that you can use some of the stuff they give you to make a more unique look and feel than what you had before. I mean, who here has seen the nestable widgets that you now get for your slides, your tabs, your accordions with Bricks? Who has seen that? Who has seen the nestable that you can do? Like, brain explosion. One thing that they are missing, though, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but Bricks don't have the C2A call to action, I think. Right, let me just check the comments, because I talk out my backside and I keep missing the comments. Pickstar, one builder is like a tool in your box. It's okay to have more than one tool. Absolutely. Brian says that Crocoblock can have interesting memory requirements. Very true. George, people can't judge us for looking into bricks. Yep, very true. Yep, don't you just hate transparent memory when the clients send you? Yep, I do, George. Andrew, you know when you get photos and images and they're full of colours or whatever? One client was very adamant they wanted a hero banner with clouds, images. It was like football pitches with clouds. And they wanted their transparent banner to be white font. And I kept saying to them, you can't see the words because of the clouds and the sky. Don't care. You can't see the words. They just wouldn't get it. Hey Jake, I'm not very I haven't used static site generators. Exactly, Brian. I think I will pivot a bit that way to bricks, but Elementor is still, I'm still passionate about that. Very good point, Brian. The different type, a screwdriver is a screwdriver, but a flathead and a crosshead, right? So, yeah. I've never used a shop kit, Milan. I don't use Cadence. I'll be really honest. Okay, do you want me to be really brutally honest? I don't like Cadence. I really don't. I find Cadence to be one of the most bloated themes out there. Has anyone ever looked at the Cadence settings? The Cadence settings would need their own manual to understand everything. I looked at it, didn't like it. Went back to it 4 months later. Hated it even more. Really don't like it. Yeah, I mean, Pixar was... I totally agree with you. CSS and HTML is good. Take care, Andrew. Just reading the comments. Antonio... Yeah, exactly, Andrew. So Andrew, what I did was... So here's how we solved the problem. The header had black text, and after you've scrolled something like 200 pixels, the font changed to white. So we put in a bit of CSS. So what you do is, what we did was the header or the navigation bar, there was no color. We clear the color. Then in the CSS, we add the color. Then you add in like a offset scrolling effect or offset effect. One of those. Can't remember now. And then in the code, we said transition effect. I can't remember the words now. Transition onset effect or something like that. Then we put in the black font. No, the white font. So it starts off as a black font. And as you scroll, it then switched to the white font. And we did that. Yeah. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember now. No, it was black to white. So Melande Kijzer. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something really majorly important and powerful for me to start using certain extra add-ons and themes. I don't want to say I have tunnel vision, but I'm very particular about the plugins I have on a website. Very, very particular. It's got to really earn its place to be on a website for me. Yeah, Andrew. It's one of my scrolling videos. In fact, if you do a search for scroll, it's basically one of the ones where I say the image, when you scroll, the image, the navigation menu, the scrolling icons, any other text, icon list, all of them, the font color changes. You can even switch the image. So I had one image for the logo, and when you scroll, the image switches to a different image because of the font because it was like a white text on the logo. So on the logo, it's black, and when you scroll down, it switches to white. Otherwise, you couldn't see it before, which looked really weird. Yep, Kevin Powell is really good, very good at explaining stuff as well. So Soren says, something you want to build. What is it, Soren? Tell us what it is you're trying to build. We might be able to confuse you even more. What is it you're trying to build? What is it? What is it you're trying to build? So I've just got to quickly just accept some people trying to join our group. Just want to make sure they don't miss out. And yeah, there we go. Yeah. It's pretty simple as well, Andrew. You know, when you see it, it's pretty. It's a tiny bit of code. You just add it into the logo. In fact, the clever bit I did was I added it into these column or the section, one of those two. And I made sure that I gave the same class name to the logo, the navigation bar, and the social sharing icons, so that I only had to write it once, where I said, for this class, the font color is black or something. When you then scroll, change it to white. So it applied it in one go. For the logo, though, I did then say, this logo is visible or whatever. This logo is invisible, and when you scroll, it switches. Then this becomes visible and that becomes invisible. Something like that. All right, we've been live for just over an hour. What I'm finding is that I don't like to go over too long unless we really have a major reason to do it. Let me just reply to someone in here. So has anyone got any burning questions or anything they want to ask at all? Because I definitely want you guys to all go back and crack on with your work or whatever you're doing. And definitely, basically don't lose production time. And it means I can crack on with stuff as well. So Soren's question. Section with 3 columns. You want it so 2 of the columns are 50% white. Oh, okay, right. Okay, right, Soren. So, can I ask you a different question, Soren, though? Yeah, I mean, I was going to say you could do CSS, but what I was going to say to you, though, is what was going to sit in column 1, column 2, and column 3? Because you could use one column and then use custom width to make them wrap the way you want. So what was going to go in column 1, column 2, and column 3? But if you've solved it, you don't have to add that. Okay? You don't have to mention that. Don't worry. Hey, Noreen. But yes, Soren, if you want to tell us what you got in column 1, column 2, column 3, but if you've solved it, don't worry about it. Now, unless there's any other questions, I will be closing down in 1 minute. I've got to edit another video, by the way, on bricks, which is coming out tomorrow, believe it or not. But yeah, I got another video on bricks coming out tomorrow. Okay, yeah, so basically what Pixstar says, that's what I would do, you know. But at the same time, you could, you could get away. Yeah, Mark, that is what I'm about to do as well, Mark. Literally after this, because it actually slipped my mind last night. I need to get on with that. You could do one column, have 3 things in, and then you make them custom width. So column 1 is an image, column 2 is text and 2 buttons, Column 3 is additional text and one button. Okay, so... Yeah, all right. I mean, you could do it at custom width, to be honest, Soren. You could do it at custom width. But if you've got your solution, go for it. All right, okay, take care, everyone. I'm going to say goodbye to you all now. Take it easy. Go and do something. Go and eat. Go and have a walk. Go and talk to someone. Go and put some music on. Work hard. Don't get distracted. And keep focusing, okay? And I will see you all soon. And don't forget, tomorrow evening, there is a live chat between me and Paul Charlton from WP Tuts. And I shall see you all soon. Take care. Bye.